Are they really on your side? Is someone working with you, alongside you, or against you? Here's how to tell. That's what this episode is all about. But before I begin, I'm going to apologize in advance if I seem a little bit more bouncy than usual. I've had a massive week in business this week. I just need to share it with somebody. So here it is. I worked out our team is up 56% in 2 years. It might not sound like a lot by some metrics, but when you consider where we started, where we were 2 years ago, where we are today, it's just been a massive journey. So just sharing that little brag. Check it out on LinkedIn if you like. A bit of a humble brag. Anywho, is someone really on your side? Do you ever wonder that? I know I have along the journey. As I said, this episode is how to tell. Help you work it out, because some people help you grow. Some people help you feel comfortable. And some people quietly pull you away from the future you say you want. Have you ever felt that? You can't often see it, but you can feel it. Now, when I say people will quietly pull you away from the future you say you want, they won't do it intentionally. And they won't always do it maliciously. Now, some people do. We'll come to that in another episode. But people won't always do it maliciously. But the influence of those people doesn't need to be aggressive or with bad intent to have a powerful effect on your future. Do you know what I mean? They can even seem like friends. Sometimes it's subtle. It'll be a comment, a joke, or a distraction. But behind it all is an expectation that you stay exactly as you are so nobody else has to adjust. Remember how I asked, are they on your side? Doesn't sound that way, does it? Not if the expectation is that you stay exactly as you are so nobody else has to adjust. How can you grow with that kind of environment? Now, most people underestimate, if you're in that environment, if you're feeling it, think about this. Most people underestimate just how much their environment shapes their outcomes. Now, if the expectation is that you stay exactly as you are, if that's your environment, what's your outcome going to be? Not much, because who you spend time with affects more than your mood. It affects your standards. It affects your behaviors. It affects your habits. Over time, it affects your energy and your decisions. And of course, your direction. Now remember, these people want you to stay exactly as you are. That's not cool. My name is Brian Dance. I've spent more than 30 years working in business leadership and high performance environments. And one thing I've consistently seen is this: people rarely grow in environments that continuously pull them backwards. I'm proud to say in the last 2 years, when I said our team was up 56%, I've seen people go from entry-level roles to quite senior roles, managing teams, managing specialist functions, further learning, doing things they didn't think they were capable of 2 or 3 years ago. And believe me, we are flying. Remember, people don't grow in environments that always pull them backwards. Now, welcome back to The Long Way Forward, episode 38. Today, I want to talk about one of the most overlooked influences on progress: the people around you. The next few episodes are going to be all about this, by the way, because the people around you, the time, that time is not about what you spend it on. It's also about who you spend it with, because, well, before we go any further, quick plug. If this series is helping you think differently, giving you something practical that you can apply, take a moment to like, comment, or subscribe, please, because it helps encourage me for a start, and it helps more people find these conversations and find this podcast. Now let's get into it. You've already started building direction. We've talked about goals, we've talked about habits, we've talked about consistency, we've talked about systems, and we've talked about time. But now we arrive at something a little bit deeper, the environment. And people, the people around us, are one of the biggest parts of that environment. Here's a difficult truth. If you are growth focused, not everyone is going to feel comfortable with your growth. Some people will support it immediately. They're on your side, trust me. Others will resist it. Not because they're bad people, but because your change challenges what feels normal to them. Or maybe it threatens them in a subtle way. Maybe they're on the same path of growth. Maybe they see you as competition. But if your change challenges what feels normal to them, are they on your side? Think about it. Now, if your change challenges them, believe me, that matters more than most people realize. People are terrified of change sometimes. And if they're used to you being the way you are and you're changing, that can cause consternation. That's a big word, means upset. Influence works both ways. Now, the people around you, as I said, some will support you. They will either reinforce your direction or they might slowly pull you away from it. Sometimes it's really obvious. Someone mocks your goals, questions your discipline, or they encourage you to take shortcuts, bad behaviours, skip the work. But often it's quieter than that. People working against you can be very subtle. It can be energy. It can be the attitude or the subtle pressure and the comments to stay the same. Have you experienced that? I have experienced that, and I've seen others experience it too. Never tolerate it. Be polite in how you deliver it, but don't stay there. Trust me. Now, over time, that subtle pressure to stay the same affects people. If I break it down simply, let's imagine there are 3 kinds of influence around you: supportive, neutral, and obstructive. 3 kinds. There's no others, only 3. Supportive people will encourage your growth. They respect your direction. They support your effort. And they will celebrate your wins genuinely, even if they don't really understand every goal you have. But they recognize that it matters to you and they want you to succeed. They want to see you succeed and they celebrate it. Those are the ones that are on your side. Neutral relationships are different. They're not necessarily helping you. They're not hurting your progress significantly either. They're just a part of the environment. Let's call them NPCs. And then there are obstructive influences. These are the relationships or the behaviours, and they can be your own behaviours, or they can be environments that repeatedly pull you away from your goals. Sometimes through negativity, that's a relationship. Sometimes through distraction, that's usually a behaviour. And sometimes through direct resistance. And that's where things can become uncomfortable. Because eventually, you need to decide how much time and how much energy you continue investing into each environment. Think about that. How much time and energy you continue investing into each environment. It's very powerful. I'll take a quick pause. I want you to think. And think honestly with me about the people you spend the most time around. Do they support your future? Hand on heart, have a think. Do they? It's a yes, it's a no, it's a don't know. If it's a don't know, then you should think about it a little bit deeper. Do they support you? Or do they mostly push you back into your comfort zone? Been there, done that. Now, if that's landing for you, if you can think about that, and you see people pushing you back into your comfort zone, remember, it's because they don't want you to change. If you're happy at the same level in life, that's great. But you're listening to this podcast for a reason. You want to change? Those people pushing you back into your comfort zone? When did you talk about this? Now, if that's landing for you, drop a comment, because awareness here, I want to hear about it. It'll help others learn as well. So do drop a comment. Awareness here can genuinely change the direction of someone's life. You recognizing the way people are towards you and the way circumstances and environments, the way they shape you, that'll change your life. But a comment, what you've been through, guaranteed someone else is going through the same thing. That'll change theirs. So help us all. Drop a comment. Here's an important part about this concept. Now, this is not about becoming arrogant. And it's not about cutting people off dramatically or grandstanding or pretending that you're better than anyone else. That misses the point entirely. This is about a thing I call intentionality. Now, that's different. For supportive relationships, when you identify them, invest more. Spend time there. Strengthen those connections. Build around people who encourage growth and discipline, accountability and direction. Those people that are going places in your life and in their lives, stay with them. They will help you get places. I don't know where, but it'll be someplace different than you are now, whether it's skill-wise or outcome-wise. One of my relatives used to say, if you want to fly, get on board a rocket ship. Same thing. Now let's get back into the other kinds of relationships. Let's look at the neutral one. Be aware of them. Not every relationship needs to be aligned with your goals, but you need to understand them. Now, neutral relationships, it's good to know because you can't count on them for support. So don't. Just know who they are though. And for those obstructive relationships, boundaries matter. This can be difficult. It's an uncomfortable topic for some. Often there's history. Sometimes there's friendship, sometimes there's family. But your future matters too. If it doesn't matter to them, well, we need to talk. Because if someone is consistently pulling you away from what matters most to you, there is always a cost to that. Remember, I said they want you to stay the same. They don't want you to change. So they're going to pull you away from what matters to you, that change. Sometimes, there's always a cost. And sometimes the cost is time. Sometimes it's your confidence. It's a subtle insult. Oh, those clothes don't really look that good on you. Oh, do you really want that extra burger? They take your confidence away. And sometimes they take your momentum away too. And that can compound. It can become not days, but years of delayed progress because you're investing your time in someone that doesn't have your interests at heart or an environment that is not supportive. Could be an employer. If a relationship genuinely matters to you, communicate. Bring people into the journey. Explain your direction. Sometimes people are not resisting your growth because they dislike you. They're resisting because they don't understand why this change matters to you. Sometimes they can resist just because they don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you said to this person that matters a lot to you, but you've identified that they're resisting the journey you're on, ask yourself, and it's a good question, have I explained it to them why I'm doing this and why it matters to me? That moment right there will tease out for you whether they're a friend or not. Could be painful, okay? Disclaimer here, could be painful. But at the end of it all, you'll come out better off, I promise you. And you never know. They might just say, I didn't realize it was so important to you. Well, of course. And suddenly you've converted that resistance into an ally. That can be very, very powerful. It's risky, but it's always worth it. That's where communication becomes important. You need to say, like I said, this matters to me. I need your support. Or at least I need you not to pull against what I'm trying to do. You're setting an expectation. It's honest. It's healthy. Now, a good relationship, as I said, a good relationship will adapt. Good people can grow alongside you. But if they consistently undermine your progress, mock your effort, distract you or pressure you back into old patterns, eventually you need to make a decision. I did many years ago. Several groups of friends. One I thought were my group of friends, unfortunately were not. The one that I wasn't sure about are still my friends today from 35 years ago. At the time, they were all apprentices, students, and trainees. And today, they've all gone places, whereas the ones that were trying to drag me back are still right there where they were. Sad but true. If I'd stayed in that environment, that's where I would be. And if you stay in a misaligned environment, when you want to grow, you'll feel that friction. You'll feel it internally, you'll feel it between your relationships, and that friction will slow your progress because you keep getting dragged back. Now, on this kind of growth, I also share these insights over on LinkedIn. Now, if you enjoy, by all means, connect with me there. I'm going to bring this together now. Remember, your goals require time, and you only get so much of it. And your time is shaped by your environment. And your environment is heavily shaped by the people around you. That's why who you spend your time with, your relationships, that's why they matter so much. Think about fine-tuning relationships and where you spend your time. It's like fine-tuning your life. No, not perfect, not dramatically, but intentionally. Ask yourself again, this is your checklist. Who around me supports my future? Who is a drain on my momentum? You might want to do this with a list. Don't let anybody read it though. That's not a good idea. So ask yourself, who around me supports my future? Who drains my momentum? And where do I need stronger boundaries, better communication, or better decisions? These are really powerful questions. I'll go over them one more time. Who drains my momentum? It's a great one. Now, if you're an elite athlete, do you think they have anybody around them that's a drain? No. They cut all that right out. And if you want to be a high performer, whether it be in life, in business, relationships, whether you want to be a dad, whether you want to be a great mum, it all matters. It's all for you. Who drains my momentum? Where do I need stronger boundaries? No, guys, I don't drink anymore. It's a strong boundary right there. If they're your friend, they'll respect your wishes. If they're not, they want to drag you back into that environment. They keep trying to drag you back into that environment. Remember, you've made a decision. I don't want to drink anymore. I want to control my drinking. They keep pressuring you to have another one. You need to make a decision because they're not supporting you. They don't want you to change. Better communication, better decisions, all part of it. Okay? I'm going to close it out now. Now remember, nobody in life succeeds entirely alone. But people also don't become successful by accident. Environment matter, standards matter, influence matter. And the people closest to you are influencers on you, so they matter. Choose your people intentionally. Don't just let it be. Think about who you invest your time with. Now again, if this episode gave you something useful, something practical that you can apply immediately, take a moment to like, subscribe, or share the episode, because sometimes the truths that challenge us are the ones that change us most. This is a really uncomfortable truth, isn't it? Who's on my side? Who's not? Who's neutral? You need to know. This is the long way forward. Thanks for being here, and I hope I'll see you in the next episode.